Hello, class. This is Natalie McKnight. I apologize right now for such a late posting, which limits, everybody getting a chance to view it and respond to it. So, again, my apologies. However, this video is covering my steps, my methods that I will take with a kindergarten class or first grade class. However, I'm viewing pre-K when it comes to comprehending text, comprehending stories, the informational takeaway after a story has been read or students have been read to. So, in the beginning, I would check background knowledge, and I will do that by asking key questions and just simple questions that are explicit. What do you know about the said subject or said title or whatever the focal point is? I will ask a couple of key questions just to check background knowledge, and that will let me know ahead of time where students will be with receiving an understanding of what's going on in the book and in the text, because we do know if there is no knowledge base to what they are about to hear, then there's no way that the information is going to register. So this is a key component with all ages, but for pre-K, I would definitely ask simple questions to find out what the students know about the story that is going to be read to them, or what they are going to read, what they are going to review. But again, it's pre-K. And during the story, I will stop between pages, not every single page, but once the story starts to shift and things start to take a different shape, the plot is coming into play, more characters, I will stop to assess the children's knowledge to see if they are keeping up. What connections are they making to the story? And I will stop to ask questions again. And in that questioning, I will allow the students to respond and respond small or big. Sometimes preschoolers definitely can ramble on to get to the point, but I would allow that so I can capture where they are, what they remember, if they are making a connection to the text, if they are experiencing takeaways, and if the text is really being comprehended. And it's in that moment that will lead me to decide if I keep going with the story or if I stop to dig deeper into the text so that connections can be made. Because we do know, as stated in our reading, the point of reading is to comprehend. And if comprehension is not happening, then it's quite pointless. And so it's the same thing with listening to the story, since they are preschoolers. And some preschoolers do have the ability to read, and no matter how simple the text is, comprehension should be happening. So I will stop throughout the story and key points to review. Okay, where are we now? What just happened? Why did that happen? Who caused it to happen? What is the setting when we get into story structure? Just to make sure that the students are on task. And after, what I will do is another Q&A, but it will be more of a summative assessment to do an overall questioning of the beginning, of the middle, and the end. Because for preschoolers, their benchmarks or their objectives, they should be able to retell a story. Preschoolers should be able to name characters. They might miss details. However, the major parts of the story should be captured and remembered by the preschoolers. If you think about them telling movies that they saw, they remember those movies, they remember the characters. And so the same thing should be happening with reading, but we know they're engaging in a different way when they're watching movies versus when they're reading a story or listening to the story. So I will do a summative assessment, and then along with that summative assessment, I will also allow the children to reenact the story with one another, giving them time to discuss who's going to be what character or what scene they're going to do, and let them just haul out the details. And so then I can watch and make a connection and see if they have captured the full story, or if the middle is lacking a little bit, if the beginning is quite dim because we've gotten through the whole story. And I will also allow and or a puppet show to be done, because that is another mode of learning, to express what is learned and learning for the preschoolers. If preschoolers are able to be, and just students, period, are able to be hands on, there's more cognition taking place. So, in brief, I'm saying in the beginning, I will do simple questions to check background knowledge, to gauge if this story is good for them right now, or do they have to learn more information to take in the full text. Secondly, I'm going to stop and key points of the story and ask questions to make sure that I still got them. I still have their minds. They're still connected and the understanding is there. And afterward, there will be verbal um, summative assessment about the entire story, engaging performance assessment as well, as the puppet show will be performance assessment because they'll be acting out using hand puppets what occurred in the story, and also with a skit or reenacting the story after telling it. And these are the steps that I will take to ensure comprehension is taking place for a, a text with preschoolers and kindergartners. Thank you again for listening. Sorry for the late submission. Have a great day.